Welcome to perfection. Watkins Glen, where refreshing waterways rush to meet gentle rolling hills. Tranquility lives amid this landscape all year long. But this weekend, the silence gives way and the thrills begin. With 9,000 horses under the hood, our pulse quickens at every turn. So join us as we take a break from the calm and drivers start their engines with a roar that echoes like thunder at the Glen.
WENY presents the Williams Toyota of Elmira Thunder at the Glen. Now, let's go live to Watkins Glen International.
Hey there, and welcome to the show. You're watching Williams Toyota of Elmira's live Thunder at the Glen special alongside Dan Fates. I'm Jenna Cottrell, and it's finally here as NASCAR makes its annual pit stop at Watkins Glen International for this year's Cheese at 355 the Glen. We have what you need to know.
Yeah, for the next half hour, we'll get you caught up to speed on all the storylines. We'll sit down with Chemung native Todd Bodine about what makes WGI so special. And we'll talk about all the action as we are now just hours away from the green flag dropping in the headliner Cheese at 355. But action picked up earlier today with qualifying for the Sprint Cup cars, and it didn't disappoint.
Talking to drivers earlier this week, they would stress the importance of working out the kinks on Friday and Saturday to put yourself in the best position for Sunday.
Qualifying's really big here. This place, tires wear a little bit, but they don't wear a ton. And the strategy, everybody's kind of on the same strategy. So if you don't qualify up front, it makes it a real difficult challenge. You probably need a little bit of luck to go your way to get up front.
After practice on Friday, last year's pole winner Jeff Gordon in the number 24 car was the fastest on the 2.45-mile course. But things would change on Saturday in qualifying.
With cooler conditions on the track, teams would take advantage.
I thought in general the track was just a little bit faster than yesterday. You know, cars were, track was pretty grippy. Cars were fast. I noticed definitely a pickup and just overall grip. So that's what you hope for when you go to qualify. It's nice when you get those sunny or those cloudy, cool conditions, and you can really lay it out there and drive the car hard. It's a lot of fun.
Truex Jr. would finish in second, a tenth of a second slower than last year's champ, A.J. Allmendinger, who knows all about what it takes to be successful here at the Glen.
I feel like Watkins Glen is almost kind of back to my champ car days. You can be more aggressive with the car here. Kind of drive it in the corners deeper and use the brakes more, stuff like that, kind of like you would with the champ car. So I've just adapted to this place kind of right away. So it's a place I've always enjoyed. The fan base that comes out to this race is huge, and it's pressure packed as soon as you get on the racetrack, but I enjoy that.
That pressure would propel Allmendinger to the top of the pole, and he will start right out in front on Sunday, looking for back-to-back wins here at WGI.
Five-time Glen winner Tony Stewart would run well, winding up in third. Kevin Harvick in the number 4 Chevy will start next to him in fourth. And Jeff Gordon has taken the checkered flag here 4 times. He ran for his second day in a row to round out the top 5 in qualifying.
Guys to watch out for on Sunday as well. Fan favorite Dale Earnhardt Jr. will look for his first win here at the Glen, coming out of the number 7 position. And the red-hot Kyle Busch, who has won 4 races this season, is just 13 points shy of cracking the top 30. Busch will begin in 8th.
Now, with just 6 races before the chase, win and get in means a whole lot more. A.J. Allmendinger won this year's pole, but let's see who else is sitting pretty in the standings. In the top spot, the number 4 car, Kevin Harvick. Kevin Harvick with 2 wins, 14 top 5 finishes, and 18 top 10 runs. Next up is Joey Logano from Team Penske. He's 46 points behind with 1 win and 12 top 5 finishes. In third, it's Junior Dale Earnhardt Jr. in the number 88 car, trailing by 63 points.
Fourth place is Hendrick Motorsports' Jimmy Johnson. He's tied with Kyle Busch for the most wins on the year at 4. Johnson behind by 67 points. Coming in at 5th, another junior, Martin Truex Jr., 86 points out of the lead. And in 6th, Brad Keselowski coming off his 2nd place run at Pocono last week. Keselowski close to 100 points shy of the top spot.
Yeah, just some other notables. Matt Kenseth won at Pocono last week, the Tricky Triangle. He sits at 5th place, and then it's the number 24 car. car, Jeff Gordon. In his last race here at the Glen, he sits in 10th, and pretty far behind him is Kyle Busch. But it's actually been an impressive run for the number 18 car. Busch missed the first 11 races of the year with an injury, but he's won 4 out of the last 6 and is just 13 points from 30th place and making a shot for the chase.
Now, Watkins Glen International is one of 2 road courses on the series circuit, but it's a bit of a wild card with all the twists and the turn. You never quite know who's going to cross the checkered flag first, and in 2014, that only made it even more apparent.
The fans were out as NASCAR's new format, Win and You're In, packed a punch for the 2014 Cheez-It 355 at the Glen. But before the race even started, this one brought the drama. Tony Stewart's number 14 car stood under police protection after Stewart's involvement in a dirt track accident in Canandaigua that killed fellow driver Kevin Moore Jr. Stewart would sit the race out as Regan Smith took over behind the wheel. 4-time Glen winner and road course king Jeff Gordon would start on the pole in this one. Gordon led for 29 laps before a power failure took over the number 24 car and he was pushed off of the track. Cautions were the name of the game with 8 total flags throughout the race, 2 of them being red. Then after 3 restarts, the final 12 laps, it was 2-time champion Marcos Ambrose doing battle with AJ Allmendinger. And if you don't think this course is a wild card, here's more proof with the twists and turns. It would be up-and-comer AJ Allmendinger who was able to outlast Ambrose. The number 47 car pulled into victory lane. Allmendinger won his first race in his 9-year Sprint Cup career. Now, can Allmendinger make it 2 years in a row? Well, only time will tell as this year's Cheez-It 355 at the Glen starts Sunday at 2 p.m.
Now, coming up, racing has been in Watkins Glen for decades, and we take a look back at the history of this famous road course.
Yeah, plus we'll sit down with Chemung native Todd Bodine about what makes WGI so special. All that and more. Stay tuned.
We now return to the Williams Toyota of Elmira, Thunder at the Glen, on WENY, live from Watkins Glen International.
Welcome back. It's a tradition 67 years in the making. Long before the grandstands and turn 10, the town of Watkins Glen has been racing.
He was looking down the road, way down.
It all started with an idea and a passion. Cameron Argetsinger had always loved racing, and he thought to bring that concept a little closer to home.
Maybe, this is before World War II, maybe we could have a European road race here. That was just a dream then.
And on October 2nd, 1948, through the streets of Watkins Glen, that dream was realized, and the legacy of racing in the Twin Tiers began.
This really was, the idea was European type, was ups and downs and arounds, you know. The terrain around here is suited for road racing. Here was the rebirth of road racing and so the Sports Car Club of America's first ever road race.
The sport was an immediate success, but during the 1952 race on public roads, tragedy struck.
And along came the second and third place car, and he brushed the crowd, not knowing he hit anybody. And of course there were 12 injured and the little boy was killed. The race was stopped and was never resumed. Thus ended the first circuit, or the 6.6 mile course.
From tragedy came transition, taking the race from open roads to a private course.
After the 55 race, they bought 580 acres, and 2.3 was born.
Construction began up on the hill now known as Watkins Glen International.
And the people welcomed this great thing that happened.
67 years later, the cars have changed, the course has changed, but Artsinger's dream still lives on.
You go somewhere else, like England, to the British Grand Prix, or Germany for the German Grand Prix. At that time and now, Watkins is still famous. There's no start in the world like Watkins Glen.
Yeah, and from the past to the present, we're now joined by Chemung native and racer Todd Bodine. Todd, you just got off the track, what, an hour ago? Has it been that long? Todd, what is it like to be back here and racing at WGI?
It's so much fun. I love Watkins Glen. I love coming home to the Valley, getting to see my family and my friends, and who doesn't like coming home, right? This is home. Watkins Glen's home. Always has been, always will be. It's been 12 years since I raced here.
Wow.
So it took me all of practice and probably 20 laps into the race to knock all the rust off. And then I got going. I had fun, and we finished 19th. It wasn't the best day, but I knew what our expectations were, and to finish in the top 20 was our goal. It really was. We have to be realistic in what we can do. So to come here and finish in the top 20, had a blast, had fun. I love racing, so it was a good day.
Now, growing up here, what is it like to actually drive the course? You've heard about it with so many people. What is it like to be on track?
Well, it's a lot different than an oval, obviously. There's no right-hand corners in an oval. But, it's fun. That's the thing about road racing, especially for all us guys in NASCAR that don't do it a lot. We go on left-hand turns all the time. So to be able to be on a road course, it's just fun. It's the only way you can describe it. It's just fun. Go out there, you're shifting, you're braking, you're sideways, you're over the curbs, and you're doing all this stuff and laughing the whole time. I know those guys up front are laughing. They're up there serious trying to win, but I was having a blast. So to get out there and do that, just like I said, I love Watkins Glen. I love coming home.
Todd, your family helped build the Chemung Speedrome. What does racing mean to the Twin Tiers in this entire area?
Well, that's the thing about not just the Twin Tiers and the Southern Tiers. It's the all of New York. There's so many racetracks in this state that people don't realize how strong and how much support racing has. We got Dundee, Black Rock right up the street here. And,
right.
Chemung Speedrome. How long's that been there? My grandfather built it, I think, in 48 or 49. So, the New York State is huge into racing. It's part of our blood. It's part of our history. It's part of our culture. And, I like to think that it's as important to this state as the Yankees are.
Absolutely.
That may put it a little above where it should be, honestly. But, that's the way I think of it. To us and to people in this community, the racing community of New York State, it's a pretty important thing.
All right, Todd, for you, there's a lot of storylines heading into the Cheese at 355 at the Glen. AJ Allmendinger winning the pole. Who is your prediction to win tomorrow?
That's tough. That's tough.
A loaded question.
It's a loaded question, but I'll tell you, we used to think about all the ringers, the road race ringers coming in here and kind of making these NASCAR guys look bad. Well, that ain't the case anymore. We've got so many good NASCAR drivers now that I'm not going to pick a winner. There's no way. If I had to say who has the favorite, I'm going to say Allmendinger, no doubt. Fast today, showed it. Winner last year, got a great car.
Another pole.
He's got a good shit. Another pole. So, if you're going to give the edge, I'm going to say AJ. But I'm not going to pick a winner. There's no way. Especially at Watkins Glen and road racing, anything can happen.
Absolutely. Well, Todd, thank you so much. We really appreciate you having on. And, the Cheese at 355 at the Glen might not be till Sunday, but the fans have been here all weekend long. And WENY's Logan Wilson caught up with some of them to see what they truly love about this track.
Thousands of people voted, and now thousands of people agree that Watkins Glen International is the best NASCAR track. Sitting high at #1 in the USA Today poll, we went out and asked fans what makes this course better than the rest.
Well, it's a really nice area. It's a unique track. It's a road course. There's not many of them on the schedule, and you have all the wineries around and camping. It's just a unique atmosphere. There's nothing like it around here.
Well, there are not many road courses in it, so one of a kind, really.
While many upstate New Yorkers come to the Glen for its proximity, those coming from out of state were attracted by its family atmosphere.
I think all the vendors, there's so many activities for everybody to do. The McDonald's Fun Zone is fabulous for children of all ages.
Aside from the races, fans can experience a variety of food, souvenirs, and all types of information on the Midway. You can also taste some adventure through driving simulation games, and the best part of it all, well, most of it is free. Reporting from Watkins Glen International, Logan Wilson, WENY News.
Yeah, coming up, the Xfinity Series just wrapped up a couple hours ago. We've got the results.
Plus, you know, we're talking storylines heading into Sunday's big race as we have, you know, will Kyle Busch stay hot, and what will Jeff Gordon do in his swan song here at the Glen? Stay tuned.
We now return to the Williams Toyota.
Yeah, the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series takes to the track Sunday, but today was the Xfinity Series taking place.
Yeah, you know, you have drivers like Joey Logano, Brad Keselowski, Kevin Harvick. It's a star-studded cast, and today had an action-packed ending.
With Joey Logano setting a track record in qualifying with a top speed of 124 miles per hour, Logano would start on the pole. Now, last year's champion Marcos Ambrose is out of NASCAR racing, so this summer the Zippo 200 would have a new winner.
Early on, it was a battle between Logano and Brad Keselowski as the two jockeyed for the lead. Then it was all about penalties and mistakes on pit road and numerous cautions.
John West Townsley's car would catch on fire in lap 9 and would end his day, the Zaxby chicken car getting a little extra crispy. And as the race went on, restarts would be a big factor with all the yellow flags. Going 3 wide, drivers would be super aggressive.
35 laps to go, Keselowski would be hanging onto the lead, trying to fend off Paul Menard and Logano, who had one of the fastest cars of the day. Logano worked his way back up to the top after early miscues on pit road.
Now, 25-year-old Joey Logano taking the checkered flag in today's Xfinity race. And moving on to the Sprint Cup race. Whether you love him or not, nobody can deny that Kyle Busch is hot right now. After missing the first 11 races of the season, he's won 4 out of 6. And with the regular season in NASCAR expiring, Busch knows it's now or never.
For Kyle Busch, his season went off the track before he even got behind the wheel of a Sprint Cup car. Busch crashed in the season opener Xfinity race at Daytona, severely breaking his right leg and left foot back on February 21st. The injuries caused him to miss not just the first 11 races of the year, but it also put qualifying into the chase in jeopardy. After earning an injury waiver from NASCAR, Busch would have to win a race and somehow manage to get himself back into the top 30 in points. Since getting back into the car, though, Busch has been a man on a mission, picking up checkered flags in Sonoma, Kentucky, New Hampshire, and Indy. And is just 13 points shy of breaking into the top 30. With 5 other courses before the Challenger round, Busch says he knows it's now or never.
You know, we've got 5 weeks for 13 points, and, you know, I feel like that's really feasible. It should be pretty easy to do. Hopefully even, you know, we can make up enough points in the next 4 weeks that we can almost lock ourselves in for that 5th week. And when all things considered, you know, it's been a challenging start to the season, but it's certainly been a big turnaround, especially for Joe Gibbs Racing, but more so for myself and just getting back in the race car and being back healthy.
Look, it's a name that's iconic to racing. Jeff Gordon has been the poster boy for NASCAR since he stepped in a stock car in the early 90s. Now, Gordon's making one last go around here at Watkins Glen International, a track he's already left his mark on.
It's the end of an era in racing. Jeff Gordon finishing his impressive career behind the wheel, 22 years in NASCAR, starting all the way back in 1993 when he burst onto the scene as the Rookie of the Year. The number 24 in Rainbow DuPont car became synonymous with NASCAR dominance. At the Glen, Gordon has shown his skill turning right as well as left. He's won here 4 times in 97, 98, 99, and again in 2001. Recently, there haven't been as many checkered flags for Gordon, but he's still one of the best when it comes to racing at the Glen.
You know, road course racing is a lot of fun. I have fond memories of coming here and just enjoying the challenges, and luckily I feel very fortunate to have won 4 races here, because I've come here before and really struggled and just felt like I was completely lost. And you know, it's a track with tons of history. It, you know, goes back a long way in NASCAR's history, but Formula One and all sorts of different types of road racing, and it's a real privilege to get a chance to race here.
So Jeff Gordon has won here 4 times, but we can't forget about the defending champion.
Yeah, A.J. Allmendinger picked up his first ever Spring Cup career win here last year, and we talked to him earlier. He says he's hoping for the same result this weekend.
I mean, it's this is a racetrack that I always enjoyed, but truly enjoy so much more now. And you know, driving through the gates on Thursday night when I got here, it just kind of brought back all those emotions of the last time I was driving out, how excited and how pumped up, and just that feeling that I never experienced before in the Sprint Cup Series. So it was awesome, and this place was, it'll always be a place that I truly remember for great things. But only problem is you do it once, it makes us want that much more the second time. It's just cool to have those memories and know what it feels like, and more importantly, know in crunch time if it's time for me to go out there, I know how to do it and get the job done.
And when we come back for the break, the Glen getting a facelift after race weekend.
Yeah, we'll learn all about the renovations going into next year. Stay tuned after the break. You're watching the Williams Toyota of Elmira's Thunder at the Glen.
We now return to the Williams Toyota of Elmira, Thunder at the Glen, on WENY, live from Watkins Glen International.
Welcome back. Now with the tight turns and fast corners, Watkins Glen International is known for the excitement.
But safety is always talked about throughout the entire circuit. WENY's Samantha Potter takes a look at the improvements coming to legendary road course to keep it safe.
Well, it's time. You know, as you go around the track, you'll notice there's a lot of concrete patches.
The day after the Cheez-It 355, the Watkins Glen International Racetrack will undergo major construction. The whole track will be torn up and new asphalt surface will be put down, making race speeds increase and lap times go down for drivers. The project is expected to cost between $9 and $15 million. Some of those costs being covered by the state. WGI was awarded more than $2 million from the New York State Regional Economic Development Council to help with repaving.
I know a lot of the drivers are excited. It's going to be a very fast surface. We're going to see some speeds that we haven't seen at Watkins Glen International in quite a while.
A private contractor that specializes in resurfacing racetracks across the country has been hired to complete the project. Since NASCAR doesn't use the boot section of the track, crews have already started tearing up the concrete on that part.
We're looking forward to getting it done, and next spring I'm sure we'll have a lot of testing. People wanting to come out and check out the tracks and the different racing series, the drivers, tire manufacturers. So it's going to be a pretty exciting process, and we're looking forward to it.
The whole project is expected to be done by November. And even though construction will begin on Monday, the winner of the Cheez-It 355 will break ground for the project at the start-finish line Sunday evening. Reporting in Watkins Glen, Samantha Potter, WENY News.
Now the Cheez-It 355 at the Glen is set to be a great one. The green flag will drop at about 2 p.m. So will A.J. Allmendinger go back-to-back, or will it be Jeff Gordon or Tony Stewart, or my pick, Boris Said?
I was going to say, I knew you were going to work that in.
Absolutely.
So he wants Boris Said. I want A.J. Allmendinger. It's going to be a great race regardless. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to tune in to WEY for all your racing recaps. For now, he's Dan Fates. I'm Jenna Cottrell. Thank you, and have a great race weekend.